Hi, I'm Peter J. Ray. Welcome to Adventures in History. Today's topic is Dearest Mother and Dad. Love, Ruth, John, and Mark. Ruth Smallshaw Ray's letters to her parents, 1954, Part 87. This is the first part of the original publication, Smallshaw Family Memories Collection, number 40, published on November 3rd, 1999. 602 Huntmere Drive, Bay Village, Ohio, April 13th, 1954. Dear Mother, we hope you have a happy Easter. I just got your letter and thought I'd write while Mark's napping. Poor little fellow picked up diarrhea someplace and now has a runny nose and cough too. It's such a shame with this lovely weather to have to keep him in. It was 67 degrees and up to 81 degrees last week, and now I see children without coats on. It's 68 degrees now. Also, we have to keep Mark on boiled skim milk only, plus paregoric and kaopectate, and he gets mighty hungry. We hope we can get him over it soon, as we'd like to get to Sandusky for Easter Sunday dinner. John ushers at church, so we'll be late getting there as it's a long service. We'd planned to take Mark to Sunday school last week, and they asked me to take charge of the nursery, but we couldn't with Mark off from his usual top form. Hope we can Sunday Easter. Sam and Liz stayed with the Duffs over the weekend and were here last night and will be with us Thursday and Friday when they return from Dayton. Glad it wasn't full-time with Mark needing extra attention, although Sam is almost through medical school. Vince and Mary had a nice dinner party Sunday evening. Mickey and Kent drove over here from Sandusky, and we also picked up Joan and Lenny. Then the Duffs and Sam and Liz came up from Akron, so 12 of us. Nice, mostly Oberlin graduates. Ann Duff is going to have her third baby in December. Did I tell you Bruce and Jer had their fourth baby? Remember the gal that was here when you were here? She has one girl 4, one boy 2, one boy last May, and a premature girl, 3 pounds 9 ounces in March. She's Rh negative, and they had to completely transfuse the baby. Some handful, but she's the calm type. I wonder why Alice doesn't have an operation to have a baby. I think I would. Boy, John's really had his hands full on the art show. We'll try to enclose clippings that we'd like back. He was on the radio yesterday about 10 minutes and television tomorrow night. The art show was judged and hung Friday. I went down about 4 o'clock and we weren't through until 8:30, then had dinner and a movie. $3.50 for a babysitter, $10 for the evening. It gets expensive when you have children. $2.50 for the babysitter Sunday, but I have to get out. Also a babysitter tomorrow to go to church. John's done a good job on this art show and plans to get busy now on the fall one. He doesn't get enough rest, though, so hope he can start to take it easy. I don't think the average person realizes how much energy some individuals have to put into these community projects. They had over 500 people in yesterday to see the art show, and it will be on all week. Remember where we took Mark to lunch? Higbee's, 10th floor? It's on the other side of the hall from the dining room, a good spot. Mark now says, oh dear, and where did it go? Good at 16 to 17 months. He says it perfectly, too. John and Dick Stevens have to go to Illinois in 2 weeks on business, so are taking Mrs. Stevens and me if we can get John's folks to take Mark. A good break to get away sometimes, even for 2 days. I've been distributing Bay Village directories for the church. Got $5.75 in donations and more to go. Also, I am collecting rummage for our sale. Some lovely suits and shoes down there, better than lots I keep. The bathroom does look nice. Now for the upstairs. John's 2 cousins had baby boys, his uncle a girl, 3 new ones in the family this month. We'll go to church Friday and 8 o'clock a.m. Sunday if Mark can't go at 11 o'clock with us. When we listened to John on the radio, it sounded just as if John were in the room, and Mark said, "Daddy, Daddy," and looked all around. John could make a good radio announcer, too. John brought a lovely fresh palm home last Sunday and white carnation from ushering. We're not playing bridge until after Easter now. Incidentally, you do have to answer a 2-demand bid with no points and 10 high in bridge. Your partner should have 25 points or 23 with a 6-card suit or 21 with a 7-card suit and 26 is game. You must answer. A 2-note trump denotes a bust hand, but at least keeps it open in case your partner has more. I've made several small and grand slams, not always bid though. I had a partner who had 5 of my trump and didn't give me an answer because they were small ones. It's also annoying to get the bid and have your partner play it and see her lead her aces, bang, 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 and then have opponents get in with kings or queens. I've lots to learn myself, though. Actually, my best scores have not been on good hands, but where I've doubled and set opponents when they were vulnerable. They call me Double Ray. I'm trying to learn to play without arranging my hand. Hope you have a happy Easter. Love, John, Ruth, and Mark. P.S. Dear Mother, I thought you might like to see a few of these clippings. John has to put them in the Junior Chamber of Commerce files, so will you return them in the next mail? Keep the program, though. There have been about 15 news items, and I enjoy reading them all, but John said you'd get bored. I thought you'd enjoy it too, though, but he just let me send these few. Good, isn't it? A worthy project. Love, Ruth. P.S. I was delivering Bay Village directories for the church tonight, and 5 of the gals I bowled with last summer are pregnant. A fertile street, what? Mark is so cute. When I haul the ironing board out to iron, he's right behind me with the laundry bag, as big as he is, in which I have it, all his own idea. And then he goes back and looks up at the shelf to the iron, as if he'd get it out too if he could. Patty next door gave him a cute little pail in which he collects stones. He went through my lids and found one that fit perfectly, again all on his own. He's very interested in books, even ones without pictures, and looks at them as if he were trying to read. The cutest of all, though, is when he says, Oh dear, where did it go? Where did it go? Good night. Love, Ruth. 602 Huntmere Drive, Bay Village, Ohio, April 19th, 1954. Dearest Mother, why, thank you very much for the Easter parcel that arrived perfectly intact down to the last rosebud. They didn't even collect the usual 15 cents. The striped shirt is real cute for Mark with his navy pants, and the blouse fits fine, so thank you very much. I put the egg in with some little ones in Mark's Easter basket, and he had a big time dumping them in and out. But I still don't let him have candy. Hope to put that off as long as possible. He got big baskets from Carol and Dave and the Rays, too, so 3 baskets. He also got a sponge duck from them, plastic eggs, and a mechanical rabbit from Dick. Poor baby. We've had a miserable 10 days here with his diarrhea and cold, and John so busy, and Sam and Liz were here Monday and Thursday and Friday nights, and left Saturday morning. Extra cooking, cleaning, and excitement and noise, a little rough for Mark. We saw John on television Wednesday. He gave a good little talk with his presentation. No notes and not nervous. He acted like he'd been on television all his life. He's on again Thursday and has asked me to go down to the studio to see it produced, and after the wives are invited to the Junior Chamber of Commerce meeting. I was at my evening guild Wednesday, Service in the church, and Friday night John and I went together to the Good Friday service. Saturday he took the rummage in that I'd collected for the church. Saturday evening the doctor came out and gave Mark a shot of penicillin. I finished delivering the Bay Village directories on our street and got $8.50 in donations for the church. Sunday I went to 8 o'clock a.m. Easter service, almost 100 to 200 there, and John ushered at the 11 o'clock a.m. service, over 300, and a record Sunday since the church was built. Then we went to Sandusky, Ohio for a lovely Easter dinner. Dave and Carol and Dick were there too. You received a nice compliment from Mrs. Ray. She doesn't like Dave's mother and said what a contrast you were. You were so refined and sweet. It's a shame when they're in the same city. She wishes Carol and Dave would move 300 miles away, but Dave wouldn't leave his mother. She's divorced and even asked Dave to phone her on his honeymoon. She also told Mrs. Ray that she'd read Carol's letters to Dave and that she'd run after him. She also said that Carol's expression after the I do's was, "Now I've got him." All this since the wedding. A week before the wedding, Mr. Ray almost had a fight with Dave because Dave demanded that Mr. Ray give him $100 for liquor for the wedding. He gave him $50 as it was. Also, they asked Dave to wear a navy suit. Everyone else did, but his mother helped him choose a gray one. A shame. Mrs. Ray thinks you did a wonderful job to engineer such a nice wedding for us on such short notice. Dave and Carol seem happy, although he's lost his job since the wedding and is working on the Turnpike Road. She had her little apartment spick and span and lovely things they have. Mrs. Ray also asked if you had any plans to visit your new grandchild this summer. I said I didn't know. Mrs. Keene called that Jimmy is in the hospital. Can't walk. They don't know what's wrong. Thought he might like to hear from me. Poor little fellow. Mark seems better today. He slept until 9 o'clock a.m. and from 12 o'clock to 4 o'clock p.m. and his temperature is near normal, so hope the penicillin worked. I made apple pie, angel food cake, and chocolate layer and 24 Easter egg cupcakes last week. Also cooked a fried chicken and ham dinner for our guests. We had a couple evenings of bridge too. Very good bridge score, Mother. I have to make 24 chocolate cupcakes with pink icing next week as I'm hostess for the Bay Village Junior Women's League. Have got babysitters coming Thursday and Monday. That's the expensive item. Did I tell you of the 20 girls that bowled last summer? Seven of us are having or have just had babies. The other day I counted 13 little boys out front and one girl, all about 4 or 5 years old. I'll send you some prints of Mark in his diaper. How many do you want? No, maybe I'll just enclose the negative and you can return it. I'd like a couple more of our Christmas one that Connie took. I'm tired. Good night. I love you. Thanks for the Easter remembrances. Love, John, Ruth, and Mark. 602 Huntmere Drive, Bay Village, Ohio, April 28th, 1954. Hi. Just been counting up the days until June when the baby arrives, and it looks like just about 57 days and about 157 million things to be done. We keep thinking things will let up, but then new things are added now with the nice weather. Mark's just fine now and seems to get cuter and smarter every day. Tonight he was undressing for us after we undo the laces and buttons. It was like a striptease. He'd toddle off into the hall, then peek back in with a little less on. He even went down to taking off his diaper and thought it great fun to run around pantsless. But we don't trust him for long like that. He's got a little sunburn on his neck and his face is a wee bit tanned. He really looks good, a golden boy. He thinks the great outdoors is really wonderful and pushes me to the door. Bye-bye. He chases the birds, gets into the garbage cans, eats old acorns, and picks dandelions, tries to get on big bicycles and calls every big boy Michael, the boy next door. He says, "Oh boy," and is real neat about eating with a spoon. Things he likes such as pudding, but makes a mess of things he doesn't like. He takes a jar of fruit and drinks it down almost in one gulp. He gets into messes quicker than you can bat an eye. Last evening, as I was taking a bath, John gave Mark the car keys to play with. They disappeared instantly, and while John searched, Mark pulled the tablecloth off the table and sat eating cupcakes in great style when John found him. Tonight, while I served supper and John changed his clothes, he got into John's dessert on the table. Each of us thought the other was watching him. It's just awfully hard to get dressed and go out while he's still awake, as I had to last Thursday to go down to the television station. He watches me change clothes, get out my shoes, and put on my coat with a worried look, and plaintively asks, "Bye-bye?" as if to say, Am I going too? They'd invited the wives to the Junior Chamber of Commerce meeting, so a late evening. Saturday night, we went to a party next door and then to our Bay Village Junior Women's Club dance at the University Club. Very nice. And almost our whole bridge club was there, and John saw some of his fraternity brothers too, now living in Bay Village. It was 3:00 a.m., and John had to usher at church. He took Mark and me out to dinner Sunday. Very nice. I had fried shrimp, and Mark had a peanut butter sandwich he'd eaten earlier. Then John mowed the lawn, and I dug dandelions. Mark found a broken locket with a red flower on it, and he really treasured it. The shirt you sent is also pretty. He has quite an eye for color. Monday night, John bowled, and their team is now in second place. I made 24 cupcakes and was a hostess on the committee for the Bay Junior Women's. We had about 125 there. It was a splendid talk. So $7.25 just for babysitters this week. We're having Mickey and Kent over from Sandusky this Saturday, so we'll be home for bridge, and the other 2 weekends after we'll have John's folks over. I got second prize at bridge last night, but really had to work for it. Tomorrow night, John works for the Republicans, distributing circulars for Congressman Dawson and taking a private poll on his chances on our street. The election is next Tuesday. We've had a nasty accident a few doors down. A man and his wife, 33 years, were hit head on in their car by an 18-year-old driver who fell asleep. They both have been in critical condition. Brain concussions, her back is broken, arm and leg, a real nice couple, 2 children. Certainly too bad about Mrs. Randall. She didn't seem 74. Wish she'd been at the wedding? Yes, you'd like the plastic line. We have one, but I find the rope one easier to take out. Outdoors and bring in again, so keep the plastic downstairs. I doubt if we'll see Mogambo. It's a rare time when we have time for a movie, it seems. Good we don't have television. I feel just fine and weigh 136 pounds. We have a robin's nest in our front tree, and of all things, a mother robin sits on a nest on the trellis outside the bathroom window. When the window is open, she looks in with a big black eye, and when you shut the window, she hops off and you can see the blue egg or eggs. I'm trying to leave her alone. I thought something was going on, but had no idea they'd build there. It's only a few inches from the window and right outside the windowsill. I guess Huntmere Drive is just maternity-minded. There are more children under 5 years old in Bay Village than there are of all other ages in Bay Village city schools now, public and high school. What a tremendous increase we'll be having on the school load. No, I like more Christian names. Lord Byron was such an old pagan. We just can't seem to find ones we both like. I'm tired. Good night. Love, John, Ruth, and Mark. 602 Huntmere Drive, Bay Village, Ohio, May 3rd, 1954. Dear Mother, Just a quick note, as I have an 8 o'clock a.m. dentist appointment and it's 10 o'clock p.m. John bowls double this evening. They're in second place. He just has 3 weeks left and my bridge winds up then too. All our activities are winding up, as I have the last coffee hour next Sunday and our last evening guild meeting is Wednesday week. John has been going great guns around the house, working on the yard and washed all the outside windows, storms and screens. A big yard and lots of windows. I'll get the inside done this week. Mickey and Kent from Sandusky were over for bridge Saturday. Very nice. I made a pineapple upside-down cake and made the mistake of drinking coffee and was up until 6 o'clock a.m. I read the whole book of Job and my Preparing for Baby book and had breakfast before I went to sleep, then up at 9 o'clock with Mark. Had an afternoon nap, though. John was head usher for a long communion service and made a fine head usher. John urged that I take Mark to Sunday school. I was prepared to stay with him, but they urged me to go into church, and Mark was just fine. He was by far the youngest and was a doll, they said. They also urged me to bring him back next week, too. He looked so cute in his wedding suit and was real good coloring and playing blocks. I nearly burst with pride. John will be confirmed June 6th, I think, and so I've asked the Rays over, also for his birthday on the Sunday before, May 16th. I thought I'd give Mark a treat tonight and give him a bubble bath, since we have to leave so early in the morning. He thought bubbles lots of fun. Then the pud stood up and urinated. Poof! All the bubbles vanished. We had a letter from Grandma today. Had a nice one from Celia and must answer it. She said she might have some name suggestions. I like Darius and Dorian and Joan, but John thinks the first too biblical. We're getting the rain again this year and have had some very hot days, shorts and sunburns. Daffodils, forsythia, and the iris are all gone. The tulips and dogwoods out now. They're building in the empty lot 2 doors down and finishing across the street. All our lovely woods being cut. Good night. Love, John, Ruth, and Mark. To be continued. Well, that concludes today's presentation. Good luck to you with your efforts in family history. If this interests you, finding, preserving, and sharing old letters, diaries, photographs, family movies, and videos, and interviewing elderly relatives while they're alive. You might consider checking out our website, Adventures in History with Peter J. Ray at peterjray.com. There's a donate button. You might consider making a donation so we can continue making these videos. So far, we have made 618 history videos in 7 areas: world history, American history, book reviews, poetic tours, Cleveland baseball, family history, and autobiography. You also might consider checking out our podcast, Adventures in History. If you live in Metro Manila, Philippines, and are looking for a high school, you might consider Restless Educational Center. Our school is located in San Juan, Metro Manila. We specialize in helping young people who have had difficulty in the larger traditional high schools. And the website is restless.education, RESALEST. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. God bless you. Take care. And I'll see you next time.